Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo, and we're here today to talk about Destiny. I know Destiny doesn't do very well on the channel, but I'm most definitely invested in this game, for better or for worse, into its future. You know, I want to see where Bungie is going to take it. I'm more than willing to be along for the ride, even if it costs me a little bit more than it probably should. So, I want to talk about the game. I want to talk about a couple topics. Number one, why I keep coming back to this damn game, and why so many other people probably do as well. The current business model, the way that things are priced, expansions most specifically, and of course a little bit of a discussion regarding the House of Wolves expansion, what we know about it. That's an upcoming expansion. It's going to be dropping on May 19th. It's very, very close, and Bungie has been showing off bits and pieces of it through live stream, the first live stream being just a couple days ago. So to start, why do I keep coming back to this damn game? Well, there's two core reasons for why I keep coming back to Destiny alongside of my brother and my good friend. And frankly, they're very obvious reasons. I know exactly why I come back to the game. Number one, its actual appearance, its audio-visual presentation, the way it looks, its design. The world that Bungie has crafted, albeit very small and sparse, is still very attractive to me. I absolutely love it. It's so sci-fi. I dig it so much that I just always want to be a part of it. And what pulls that all together, of course, is the audio design as well. You know, the fire, the weapon sounds, the sound of the sparrow. It's all just so instantly memorable, is what it is. You know, they've definitely created their own little sci-fi world, and I can see myself getting really, really lost in it if Bungie was just willing to tell us a little bit more about it up front, rather than sort of hide it in those Grimoire cards. But that's a discussion that we'll get to at another time, or maybe a little bit later in the video. So that is very much a big part of it. I love the world they've created. Again, as sparse as it is, it's fantastic, and I just want more of it, which is why I'm more than willing to keep coming back for these damn expansions. The second part of it is the combat, the actual combat in Destiny. Running strikes with two other people, you know, two close friends. There's nothing really like that in first-person cooperative gaming. Nothing really scratches that itch. There's very few games that do it well. Borderlands is really the only other thing I could think of, and it's just not the same. There's something about completing a heroic, you know, or a Nightfall strike with two other friends in Destiny. It's this sort of on edge, just thrill ride. It really is adrenaline pumping. It's so incredibly difficult, and it requires the utmost coordination between your teammates that there's nothing really as intense and as rewarding as that. It always keeps me coming back. It's why I've ran well over 200 strikes, you know, and half of those were probably the same strike over and over. It's just always rewarding to complete a strike like that, when it's challenging, of course. There's just something about it. Bungie has really nailed that. And of course, combat in this game always feels great. Shooting feels great, using your abilities feels great, popping a bubble shield as a Titan to save your friends at the last second, that all feels great. It's obvious that the combat portion of this game is just nailed. And of course, already talking about, you know, the world, the stuff in the world, the character models, the weapon models, they're all so just immaculately designed. This still, to me, is one of the best looking games to ever come out. The texture work in Destiny is so freaking outstanding, and this is just on a console. It blows my mind how good this game looks sometimes. So for those drool-worthy reasons, that's, you know, why I keep coming back to this damn game. Now let's talk a little bit about the current business model for Destiny. The $20 expansion pack price tag that they're currently running. Now, there's a lot of arguments that we can have regarding this, and rather than actually argue about it and thrust my opinion into the sky, I'd rather just break all of these different viewpoints down on this, because I think there's a lot of very good viewpoints regarding the $20 price tag that Bungie has put on their expansions, the Dark Below and the forthcoming House of Wolves. So there's one way you can look at this, right? You can look at it sort of like a normal console gamer, where to you Destiny is nothing more than just an RPG, and you should be getting, you know, really heavily content-rich expansions, just full of new zones and new places to go and see. At which point, $20 to you for, you know, one or two story missions and maybe one social zone and one actual zone to explore isn't really much, and I can understand that. However, when you look at Destiny in the way, you know, its 100,000 plus players probably do, it's more of an MMO. A lot of people like to disagree with me on this, but Destiny has a lot of traits that the standard MMO has, not just in its business model and the way that things are released, but just in the way you go about doing things, the way that there are dailies and weeklies, and the way there are instances. It's all very much following that standard MMO formula. And when you look at the game in that way, you understand that that one zone when replayed over and over, just like it would be in an MMO offers, hours and hours and hours of playtime. And that is the way that most players who are still active in Destiny look at it. They had no problem spending $20 in the Dark Below because they got another 200 hours out of the content that was added in that. Therefore, making that price point seem a lot more valuable to them. They're getting their money to time spent ratio much better than someone who would just play the story missions and then bugger off. That was probably an hour, if that, to beat the story mission in the Dark Below. Definitely not worth your $20 price tag. So there are different ways you can look at this game. And a lot of that comes down to, how often do you play Destiny? How involved are you? How willing are you to grind the same content over and over? These are all ways that we can look at the game and the way it handles expansions. Now, you can also look at that $20 price tag as, hey, there's no subscription fee for Destiny. You keep playing this game over and over, and it's an active community, there's other players, but Bungie and Activision aren't charging you a subscription fee like a standard MMO would, therefore justifying the $20 price tag. I've seen people look at it this way, and I can understand that. At the end of the day, what I have to say to you, as a player, as someone who is playing Destiny, you have to justify your purchases on your own. Is that $20 worth it to you? That's the only question you should be asking yourself. Now, I think, there is the endless debate we can have about whether it's righteous or not to charge people $20 for an expansion, but again, the way that Destiny handles its content, I think it's more about personal opinion. What are you going to get out of House of Wolves? What did you get out of the Dark Below? How much time did you spend playing that expansion's content? 20 plus hours? Probably more than worth the $20 to you. 4 hours or less? Probably not worth it. And that's really the way you have to look at it. Now, as someone who is an active, Destiny player who picks it up from time to time and fades in and fades out, and who also is more than willing to spend $20 on those expansions, yes, I would like to see more added to the game. I would like to see more zones and more areas added with each of these expansions. I want to go places. I want to see new things. That's less of me, talking from a really, factual percentage of how much time I'm going to spend in this expansion, and more so me just saying, I just want more of this world. I want you to give me more because I want to see more. Not just because I want more, but because you have me interested, you have me intrigued, you've spiked my interest. What else is there in the world of Destiny? Where else can I go? What other things can I do? What other people can I meet? And places can I visit and see? That is the side of me that wants to see more content in these expansions. Now, let's talk a little bit about what we know about the House of Wolves. Of course, if you guys have any opinions on any of this, if you're a longtime Destiny player, what do you think, about the expansion prices? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's try and keep it civil, though. No reason to attack somebody just because they're willing to spend the $20 in this game and get the enjoyment out of it. Hey, to each their own here. But House of Wolves, right? There's actually a little bit of information that we received about it during the last live stream, which, by the way, when I was in the live stream, I was watching the stream. At one point, there was 130,000 concurrent viewers. That's a lot of people watching a live stream for an expansion for a game. So I think there's a lot of people out there who, for some reason, like to just bash Destiny really hardcore. I mean, if you don't like it, don't play it, whatever, But they always are saying that this game is dead, it has no community, that no one's playing it anymore, it's failed. It obviously hasn't. I mean, even if just half of those people are actually interested in playing the game when the stream is over with, they're going to go and play the game that night, that's a lot of players, man. I mean, that's proper, like, Call of Duty numbers, That's a lot of active players. And that's also 130,000 people just at the stream when I was in it. That's a lot of people even slightly interested in the House of Wolves expansion for Destiny. So interested in the future of the game. That's a pretty hefty community that still is willing to check this game out. So I think that's actually very exciting for Bungie, and also very exciting for the active community in Destiny to know that there are still a lot of people interested in this game. That's going to help keep it alive and keep it growing moving into the future. So House of Wolves, right? I think the biggest thing with the House of Wolves expansion is it's really focusing on giving back to the people who have been playing the game for ages, while at the same time, sort of helping people who don't play it every single day, 4 hours a day, help them, get to that end game content, get to that level cap, and get them in raids and get them in the strikes and the nightfalls and things like that. So it's trying to do two things at once. But a big part of, rewarding the people who have been in the game is all the new currencies they had. They've added weapon reforging, basically being able to change the special skills that each of the weapon has. You can just reforge it, get a random set of skills. I think that's pretty cool. Again, you can exchange all of the different types of currency in the game. You can now max out old weapons and gear, you can increase their overall damage and their overall armor value, so they are more relevant once again, meaning that old piece of raid gear that you have, that old piece of, that old legendary that you had that wasn't from the Dark Below expansion is now relevant again. You can now use it and wear it, and I think that's just a good thing. Number one, that lets people wear their favorite piece of gear, which is what RPG should be about. It's why World of Warcraft introduced transmogrifying. Let people wear what they want to wear. You're not really doing the same sort of stat transfer stuff here, but you're bringing that gear up to the highest possible level it can be. You're making it relevant again. You can wear it in strikes. You can use it, in your everyday run through in Destiny. I think that is really cool. We also have the new Reef social experience. It's just another social hub. Yeah, I'm kind of iffy about that. It's whatever. I'm more interested to see where we actually get to go with the new story missions. So we have new story missions now. We're doing stuff for the Queen in the Reef. There's also new bounties that we're going to be taking on with the Queen's Wrath. That's the stuff that I'm interested in. I want to see what they do with that. I want to see how they improve on those smaller missions and how they improve on the story. Now, DJ also mentioned in the live stream, the community manager, that they're taking a new approach to storytelling. This is something fresh. They're trying to do it different. They're trying to learn from their past mistakes. Time will tell. I'm going to be playing the expansion, so I'll let you guys know how I think they handled story. Obviously, Dark Below wasn't really a huge improvement, and we still have to deal with the stupid Grimoire cards, which someone mentioned actually during the stream, the idea of getting the Grimoire cards in-game, being able to view them in-game, and I think it's silly that that doesn't exist. Just about every other, really dense and interesting world in games like Mass Effect, Dragon Age, they have codexes, they have whatever, encyclopedias, things that let you learn about the world every time you stumble into something in the game, rather than doing it through these Grimoire cards. I think that would be very intelligent, so who knows. His comment basically was, it's not something we're actively working on. I want to see that change in the future. At the end of the day, House of Wolves, $20 expansion coming out May 19th. We've got Trials of Osiris, brand new PvP mode, a lot of people are very excited for. And then we have the Prison of Elders, which is what I'm most interested in. This is a brand new 3-player cooperative experience, so it's PvE. And of course, there's all these new weapons, all these new pieces of gear, new ways to earn weapons and gear. There's just a lot of big changes here. It's another small expansion. So I'm really interested to see how it pans out. I'm interested to see what Bungie has learned from the House of Wolves release. And I'm even more interested to see later this year that huge expansion that they keep talking about. We've already seen leaks of it. Possible name for it even being Comet, and the idea that it's going to be a proper expansion for the game, less of these small ones, and an actual properly big expansion. We'll see what they do for the price point on that, and we'll see how much content is actually interested in it, or actually included in it. At the end of the day, I'm very interested in the future of this game, seeing where it goes and how it grows. Let me know what you guys have to say down in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on the price point for the expansions? Are they worth it to you? Are they not worth it to you? Did you get your money's worth out of the Dark Below if you bought it? Will you be buying the House of Wolves? Let me know everything you have to say and more, once again, down in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one.